The U.S. government actually sued Coca-Cola in a very widely publicized trial in Chattanooga in 1911. Harvey Wiley, who was the father of the Food and Drug Administration, personally decided that he hated Coca-Cola. He didn't think that they should have caffeine in a drink that children were drinking. And what Coca-Cola did to defend itself at this trial regarding children was to say, no, children don't drink it, which was preposterous because clearly they did. But ever since 1911, Coca-Cola had an unwritten rule never to show a child under 12 in an advertisement drinking the beverage. So they were sort of put in a spot. How are they going to appeal to children? Because they still wanted to get kids to drink this stuff.
Coca-Cola's answer is to use youthful models, to come close to the line, but not go under it. They know a kid who grows up on Coke is the best guarantee there is of a future drinker. But Coke's message also appeals to nostalgia for a simpler life. Kids 12 and over, and fishing ponds, rendered by America's best artists like Norman Rockwell. For 2 decades, ads linking Coke to life's special moments barely change.
Very few people know that Coca-Cola actually gave us our modern version of Santa. Before Coke came along, Santa Claus was St. Nick. You know, St. Nicholas was a tall, sort of severe, skinny guy who often wore green or yellow or sometimes red. In 1931, Coca-Cola hired Haddon Sundblom, and he painted a fat, jolly St. Nick who wore Coca-Cola red.
Haddon Sundblom was known as the leader of the Chicago School of Illustrators. A whole bunch of other illustrators, Harry Anderson and Pruitt Carter and people like that, all studied and painted his way. But Haddon, he had the Irish virus himself. You know, he liked to tipple, as they say. And they were afraid maybe he'd croak, so they had him do like 5 years of Santa Clauses into the future.
Coke came to Columbia, seeking lower wages. They got just what they came for, but as we turn the pages, we find the workers do not like the sound of their children's hungry cries. So they said, we'll join the union. They began to organize. So Coke called up a terrorist group called the AUC. Said, we've got some problems at the factory. The AUC went to the plant, killed 2 union men, told the rest, you leave the union or we'll be back again. Well, Coke did not complain about this dirty deed. Why give workers higher wages when Coke is all they really need? They phoned the AUC, said thanks, without you we'd go broke. And to show our appreciation, here's 100 cases of Coke. The baby drinks it in his bottle and the water ain't no good. The dog drinks it, but he don't know if he should. Some folks say it's the nectar of the gods, but Coke is the drink of the death squads. Coke is the drink of the death squads. Well, these workers wouldn't take this situation lying down. Some went up to Georgia, said, look what's happened to our town. You American workers get downsized, as for us we just get shot. And those of us who live, our teeth begin to rot. 'Cause the baby drinks it in its bottle and the water ain't no good. The dog drinks it, but he don't know if he should. Some folks say it's the nectar of the gods, but Coke is the drink of the death squads. Coke is the drink of the death squads. Well, now that's the situation. What are you gonna do? 'Cause the death squads run Columbia and they're paid by me and you. We can let Coke rule the world, see what future that will bring. Or we can drink juice and smash the state, now that's the real thing. 'Cause the baby drinks it in his bottle when the water ain't no good. The dog drinks it, but he don't know if he should. Some folks say it's the nectar of the gods, but Coke is the drink of the death squads. Coke is the drink of the death squads.
Corporations arguably are among the most powerful entities in the modern world in terms of soft power, at least perhaps a good deal more powerful than nation states.
With a market value of $150 billion, the Coca-Cola Company is one of the world's most powerful corporations. From its headquarters in Atlanta, the company directs an empire of independent franchise holders, united under the most recognized brand name on earth. These independent bottlers purchase Coke concentrate, then bottle the drink locally. Coca-Cola always maintains it's just selling soft drinks and doesn't interfere with local politics. Sometimes this policy works. Sometimes it gets Coca-Cola into serious trouble.
By the late 1970s, Coca-Cola ran into a problem which they really didn't want to deal with in Atlanta. Down in Guatemala City, some of their unionized employees who were trying to start a union, began to be murdered.
In Guatemala, the independent bottling operation is managed by a Texan named John Trotter. Trotter does get involved with local politics, and there are three things he can't tolerate: Pepsi, communists, and unions.
His own employees in the Guatemala City plant tried to unionize, and he told them not to do this, that this was communistic. He blamed it on the Pepsi people causing the problem. There was an enormous furor about this internationally, and the people at the headquarters of Coca-Cola at first refused to get involved because they said, look, this is an independent bottling plant. We can't tell them what to do, and there's no evidence that they're doing anything wrong.
Sporadic violence escalates, more workers are killed, and still the Coca-Cola Company refuses to act.
Finally, a nun who had Coca-Cola stock went to one of Coke's annual meetings, and with her she brought the head of the union, named Israel Marquez, and he related to them what was going on. And he said, in Guatemala, the name Coca-Cola means murder.
Religious investors took labor organizers from Guatemala with us to the stockholders' meetings of Coca-Cola. We spoke to the stockholders and to the board and to the management. These labor leaders told their story and told about the fear that they and their colleagues faced every day, the fear of being disappeared or killed. While they were speaking, the chairman of the board of Coca-Cola, Paul Austin, smoked a cigarette and just put up with the fact that we were testifying at the stockholders meeting. It was a kind of a shocking disregard for the very powerful story these labor organizers were telling.
It wasn't until Roberto Goizueta came in 1981 that the situation was finally resolved. They never did prove conclusively that the man in charge of the plant had been ordering these murders. But they did help to buy him out. The company provided the money to help a Mexican bottler buy him out, and the murders stopped.